really just to take one part of the line that expresses an emotion, and we all related it to, well, civil rights pretty much, and we took each of the lines and maybe just I don't know, take over, Janet.
Okay, so we all talked about how the theme of the story reminds us of the oppressed people from back in history, Civil War, fighting for slavery, and also can be related very similar to today and what's happening in our world today and the injustice that's happening all over the world. And lighting one candle is like saying a prayer, very sacred prayer, and we're all hoping for this symbol of hope. This candle is the symbol of hope.
As I heard hope as a hopeful, as a way you would be feeling as you sang the song. Were there other things you would be feeling? You talked a lot about what the song, what the pictures you had in your mind, but how about your emotions? How about, were you angry about what happened to these people? Were you sad? Were you, I heard hopeful. Were there other emotions that came out of your discussion?
Other breakout room people can talk too. I just started one breakout room, so.
We started with emotions actually, and I suggested if you look at one line, there's a place where you can find emotion in that one line. For example, light one candle for the Maccabee children with thanks. So that's an emotion, thanks.
Thankful.
Being thankful for the pain they endured, thinking about people being in pain, for the sacrifice that justice and freedom demand. So what I do is take one part of each line and try to relate an emotion to it.
So if you're feeling thankful, or let's just work on, if you're feeling thankful, how does how does that look on your face if you're thankful? Anyone can answer that.
It would be pleasant. It would be a pleasant look, do you think?
Yeah, a grateful
Definitely.
look.
Yeah.
Maybe the lifted eyebrows of the way that we're supposed to sing anyway is kind of like thankful. I see it on Patty.
Would you have a big smile, or would you be, so there's thankful for, oh, my husband bought me a Porsche for my 29th birthday, or I'm thankful for,
I didn't get killed.
yeah, so so thankful is kind of broad in this, a term. And so you need to think about what thankful are you, and how does, if I say look thankful, well, like I said, I could be thankful for the brand new Porsche sitting in my driveway, which isn't there, by the way.
Maybe more it's more gratitude than thanks. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's relieved at the same time.
I think it's a solemn thanks.
Mm.
Yeah, it's more solemn than hey.
Yeah.
Are you looking for something more specific, Becky?
Yeah. It's a discussion.
We're just thinking out loud.
I was interested that Emily came up with gratitude, which has a different layer, I think, than thanks.
Mm-hmm. It's more respectful.
Yeah, it just feels a little, it's not like happy,
it's deeper.
But it's more, I don't know how that looks differently.
It's
on
more
the face,
reverence, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
What was that, Betsy?
More humble.
Humble. Yeah, these are good. Even just thinking about them yourself, your own face would probably a little and
right.
Does it change throughout the song? Anybody in breakout room 4? Chris, Blaisdell, Emily, Gina, Hubbard, Linda, Green, Michelle. Anybody? Does it change much throughout the song?
It does
I'm not
change,
sure that
but we mostly talked about the song as a whole.
Well, how about the chorus? I mean, is the chorus different than the verses?
It's more like conviction. Don't let the light go out. You know, it's like, keep it going. It's an encouragement because look how long it's
Building.
lasted. Don't be the one to break the light chain.
Right. And look how long it's taken us to get here. So you
Yeah.
don't want to, you want to break the mood. Our group chose as our mental image the women's suffrage movement and how long they struggled and how
And
many
still struggle.
still struggle, but how
Right.
many things happened to them along the way. People dying, people getting beaten up, people putting in jail for that right. And that was just a mental image that we had going through, and you can kind of look at each of the things. And then the chorus is saying, well, by golly, come on, guys, this is our cheer. We're not
Gals.
going to let the light go out. It's like the cheerleaders are saying, you know, rally around this thought.
So when you're singing a particular section, whether it's with a verse or not, and you're talking, I heard, you know, the struggle, the sacrifice, the pain, do we have to be careful that we are not overly emotionally showing so much struggle that our audience, I mean, we want them to feel the emotion, but we don't also want them to feel it so much that it's uncomfortable for them.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't want to repel them. Yeah.
You can kind of temper that with a feeling of determination.
Yeah.
As that kind of gets mixed into it so that it's not too much struggle and you see the pain on us, but because of this, there's this determination.
An inspiration almost,
Yes,
really.
that keeps
We want it to be inspirational, not
And ultimately,
gloomy.
we're proud of the fight. We're proud of what they've done and how they felt about it. And despite all the things they've done a wonderful thing. So I think there's that.
Pride.
Yeah, you're feeling proud of the fact that they didn't let the light go out. They didn't become their own enemies. They didn't, you know, kind of self-destruct. They just kept going.
Right.
Yeah, and now it's our turn to carry the banner, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I think at the piece of talking about the pain and the anger, in that moment, we're telling somebody else's story, which makes it easier. We're not being angry at the moment. We're talking about the anger that we have learned about and that we may have come through, but we're telling the story after the fact.
Yeah.
Whereas the pride and the determination is where we are now.
And so when you sing this song, your emotional, the expression on your face, your body stance has to also reflect that, and it changes as the message in the song changes. We don't stand and sing the whole song the same exact way.
So I'm thinking back to the video, the YouTube of Peter, Paul, and Mary doing this with the children around them. And there was a lot of this same feeling as they went through their song, I think. Seemed to me, I remember feeling more and more inspired as they sang and more involved. And somehow, I don't know what they did to make that happen.
Well, it might be a good exercise to go back and watch that again and pay attention to, I'm sure a lot of it was because the vocal line and the delivery of the vocal line that had that change, that made you have a change of emotion, but also watch physically their expression in their bodies and see how much that brought to make you feel that change.
That's something we talked about in our room. And like I said, we mostly were talking about the song as a whole. Gina said something. We talked about how part of it is trying to bring unity, despite people might have different beliefs, but they all believe that we all believe that you have the right to your beliefs. And other people must remember when we did this song right after the presidential election, or right after the inauguration in early 2017 at a winter regional.
Mm-hmm.
And we were, the intro was a message of unity. Let us not, let anger drive us apart, and all of that kind of stuff. And that was amazing when we did that performance.
Yeah, people in tears.
That's kind of what I would love to capture
Yeah.
again in this. Maybe other people can articulate what we felt at that time, but
I think it was actually
and
leading up to the
10 now.
I think it was leading up to the election. I'm
No,
not sure.
it was after.
It was
It was right
January,
after.
right after.
It was
Yeah.
winter
Well,
regional.
we were
in
learning
January.
it. We were learning it during the lead up to the election.
Right.
So we had
Yes.
that. We had all of those feelings already instilled in us while we were learning the song. And I think maybe that's what helped us carry it over.
And what makes it challenging is when we sing a song over and over and over, and every time you sing it, you have to have that level of emotion in your presentation, or it just becomes more of a flat performance. And if you want to say something magical happened at that moment, how do you recapture that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When you're singing it somewhere else, and that moment isn't naturally there, but you have to be able to bring that when you're performing that.
I think that the current events right now can profoundly, make you feel this way as well. Between COVID and the political environment we're in, you can almost, make it evolve that way. You can still bring that same level of intention to it, because it's so close to what we're experiencing now.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be, so we're at a similar, place in history now that we've got so many things.
This could be a good time then to play this song over a couple of times if you have any chance to rehearse and sing through it and think again about this discussion, and think about the feelings, and think about what's going on today, and how does this song help you to express that, and use the moment to help you sing into this song, so that the next time you sing it, that you can hopefully tap back into that. We are going to switch completely.
Yeah.
Very
No
intense.
whiplash here.
180. Yeah.
Going back into the same breakout groups, and you're going to talk about rocking around the Christmas tree. I want you to think, but within your groups, I want you to think about the intro. Oh, Christmas tree, a good old-fashioned tree, which we do it slowly and majestically. And then all of a sudden we switch tempo. How do we get what happens that brings us from the intro into the beginning of the song? And there's the first two choruses of the song are pretty much similar. And then what happens when we get to, you will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing. So there's maybe a change there that I'd like you to talk about. And then we go back to the same kind of first two choruses. It's very similar, but in the tag now we're talking about, look at them dancing. I don't know if that makes a difference in the song to you. Then thinking about myself dancing, I'm looking at them dancing. I don't know if that's different or not. Just some ideas for you. Toss out there for you to think about. I'm going to put you back in the same rooms, another approximately 10 minutes. See you later. I think you have to pick to go into the room. Mary Beth? Andy, are you there? Okay.
Beth was just saying
Nancy.
something. She got cut off.
Okay.
That's all right.
Nancy, we
Sure
thought we
wasn't.
lost you.
What's that?
That's,
We thought we lost you.
We
What
loved you,
happened
didn't
to
we,
you?
Nancy?
Did you get stuck in the middle meeting?
so I'm
The Twilight Zone.
you know, I just deleted the breakout room, so I don't know who it was, but who was in the breakout room with Michelle? Is Michelle back?
I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will Michelle's breakout room, please start, because I had you kind of last before with talking about this song.
Well, where'd everybody go?
We're here.
There? Oh, okay. I think we talked about that sort of having a very dramatic shift from that intro into the very sort of reverent and sort of proper
Traditional.
in the beginning, traditional in the beginning, and then when you flip to the rock and just having it be a very 180 shift and becoming much more playful there. What else, guys?
We were talking about in the beginning, in the intro, I had said something about it's almost like you were singing with your hands in a muff type of sentiment.
Formal, very formal choir.
And then when you get into the rocking, you're going to a hop. So this is now a 50s kind of a feel of a hop. And then it bounces back and forth throughout the song between those two sentiments, and at one point we decided it was sliding slowly back into traditional.
Oh, sliding slowly back.
Yeah.
So not quite as drastic a flip in emotion later in the song, like that sentimental feeling.
Okay.
You become a little bit more
Reflective.
pensive,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then again at the very end, what is it?
Look at them dancing.
Yes, look when you're looking at them dancing. That's another spot in which we thought you'd be kind of a little bit wistful or something there.
And I didn't say this in the room, but the very last line of the song, in a new old-fashioned way, we're trying, it's the song gradually is pulling the traditional and the rock together.
That's
the
kind of
new old-fashioned
interesting.
way.
Well, I particularly suggested that group start, but everybody is welcome to talk.
In group 3, can I say this? In group 3, we kind of thought that the intro was kind of wistful and then teasing, because we're getting ready to break into rock.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then so you've kind of done Christmas tree, a good old fashioned Christmas tree, boom, like snapping Christmas crackers, right? And then rock around the clock.
I like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Right, like who said something about singing with a muff, like you were singing a traditional Christmas song at the beginning, and then setting it up for a surprise into Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Right.
Neat.
What can you see happening physically when you go through that transition?
We have a supply of Christmas crackers, so someone goes snap and we break.
Yeah,
and start
I love
that.
I like that.
Oh.
We also discussed that, like, there's all these things that are happening at the party. It's like these little vignettes of what's going on at the party. There's people dancing around the Christmas tree over here, and the mistletoe is being hung, and couples are stopping, or you pull some guy off, try to give him a big kiss, and and then there's more rocking around, and then we're feeling the spirit, and now here comes the pumpkin pie, and then now we're going to set us up to do some Christmas carols, and that's when we get sentimental.
So if Sally is not standing in front of the chorus directing, if she starts us and then stands into the chorus, how do we play this to the audience visually? All those different stories.
Marion, let me pop in for just a procedural thing here. We've got like 3 minutes to 9 on my clock.
Sure.
It looks to me like this conversation could go on for at least another few minutes. So if people are up for it, I would say plan on maybe 10 minutes more or so. 9:10, 9:15, if that's okay with everybody, just so that we're not rushed to finish in 2 minutes, but when we're wrapped, we're ready to go. Make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So my group thought we had a lot, the song was very joyful, you know, and I like the idea that the other group said about being very formal at the beginning, but we were kind of thinking that that was more nostalgic, and then it goes right into energetic, like you are rocking and popping away, dancing, and then you get back to that nostalgic and wistful time. But we were thinking it would be happy and joyous and energetic.
Yeah, I like those words.
Does it song end nostalgically or more energetically?
Big finish.
Big finish.
Yeah, good. Oh,
I kind of like what Michelle said about mixing the old and the new together there. Maybe that line is
In the words, yeah.
Yeah, that line kind of pulls you back into the energy, maybe. I don't.
And then with more Christmas crackers.
More Christmas
The
crackers.
last words, dancing
crackers.
away. I'm not sure. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, the last word. Dancing away.
everyone dancing merrily in the good old-fashioned way.
Dancing dancing away.
Isn't it the new old-fashioned way?
Oh, it says good here in the music.
It is good.
I think we sang
That's weird.
no.
I swear it was new.
Yeah, it is no.
Okay.
It says new old fashioned, I think.
Yes.
I think it's someplace else.
Okay.
It'll be at the very end.
Not well. Sheet music here hasn't been updated. Then, if that's the truth.
Maybe we can, because there's spaces between those words, maybe we can use that as kind of a way to change from the nostalgia back into the energy, back into the dancing. New, old fashioned, do something, you know, dancing like, physical at the end, so that we end it happy and cheerful.
Yeah.
Usually, don't we usually kind of say the words kind of like in a beat? New old fashioned.
Yep.
Thank you, Jason.
Away.
So you could put that move in, you could put in a snap move or something, or without actually making noise, or a shoulder move or something. Might be good. I'm not the director. These are just ideas.
I think we usually do that because when we say new old, like it kind of just naturally happens, I think.
Probably does. And if there isn't a director in front, if we're not all staring at a director, it might happen even more.
I think if you think about, you know, you talked about reverent and nostalgic and whatnot, and so your body is probably, it's not that you're frozen and standing still, but your, you know, your movement is a little bit more refined. And then the first word we say is rockin' around, rockin'. So rockin' around, you know, you're going to get this movement going on as you're singing. Now we have to be careful that we're not all doing the washing machine and everything else all over the place, but through that area, you're going to want, you know, rockin' around the Christmas tree, you know, you're going to really get into it. And then you go back into the, you will get a sentimental. Now, how would it be if I get, you will get a sentimental? No, you know, your body's going to come back to that refined space again. You will get a sentimental, right? If I were speaking that to you, it would be more, you will get a sentimental feeling versus you will get a sentimental feeling.
It could be done that way, but not, I don't see it.
I'll have what she's having.
All right,
So-
I just do want to clarify that it says good old fashioned on the word sheet and the music.
does.
So
It does.
I think Brenda Lee sings new old fashioned. So we can change it to new if that makes more sense.
I don't know. At this point, I don't know what we sing anymore.
I will pass the question along to Sally as to what her preference is.
Yeah.
Well, if it's
And
if
do
it's
we end with dancing
consistently-
away, or is it just good old fashioned way? I thought it was way dancing away. Somebody,
Well,
I think, has
that's the leads hold it. We go dancing
Everybody
away.
else
That's what I
But
thought.
it's,
That's what I
we've
thought.
always
Okay.
sung good. We've always
Yeah.
sung good.
Right. I don't intend to change anything. I just whatever had it in my head that it said new. So
That's because Brenda Lee sings it that way. Yeah.
Well, listen, while we're thinking about dancing and partying and being together, how about if we sing with this video? If I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I just want to say one thing before we sing with this video, that in the learning track, it says good old fashioned way. So I don't think you want to change it at this point. The learning track.
no,
The learning
definitely
track is
not.
good as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go.
Should we mute?
Sing along and enjoy. Okay.
Shall we mute? You want us to mute?
Nope. If you can hear it.
Can't hear it.
Got a lot of friends in MBA, and I know that you do.
MBA, and I know that you do too.
Harmony with you.
Myself in harmony with you.
NBC. Oh,
Yeah, and I know that you do too.
when we sing all together, I can hear myself sing.
When we sing all together, I can hear myself in harmony with you.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you for participating, everybody.
Everybody.
A reminder that tomorrow night at 7:30, there is a wonderful class being sponsored by the region. If you have, an hour or so to spare, you will not regret it. So check Facebook or your email. You should have got an invitation both of those ways.
All right.
Thanks, Becky.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
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 Michelle left.
Thanks, Marianne.
Good night. Good night.